guy, the kind of contract he has, how much fame he has, to hell with all of that, man. We got to start looking at people as genuine human beings in order to protect them, regardless of how violent the sport is, how delicate the sport is. Until we start viewing each other as human beings, these guys, the health of them and the seriousness of the things they put their bodies through on a nightly basis will never be understood in a serious perspective until we value them as genuine human beings.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Look, man, it's safe to say I've been on a hiatus for the New Year break and the New Year, or the holiday break, I should say. But look, man, I'm happy to be back. Let's touch into it. We got so much to cover. First things first, we got to get a little serious, and I promise that we will lighten it up a little bit. But just going off the injury that we witnessed from the Buffalo Bills in the Bengals game the other day, man. First off, it was tragic. Football has always been a violent sport. That's number one. Football has always been a violent sport because since the game first came around, and I played at one point, you are literally coached to be violent. I mean, it's no safe sport whatsoever. If you've ever played, you know it's a violent sport. If you've been watching for multiple years, you know it's a violent sport. That's just the way the game is, unfortunately, and it's nothing you can do about it. You can't add extra padding because it won't work. The game, people won't be able to run. People won't be as elusive as they once were. You can't start throwing more flags. People are going to complain about the flag calls being thrown. We already complained about the flag calls being thrown. I mean, it's not really any significant change you can do to really make the game of football much more safe, especially when a person has been preached violence from the course of pee-wee football all the way through high school, college, and going to the NFL. You just can't change that. It's no way possible. So I'm not here to tell you about, the game needs to be safe. It needs to be more safe, because it can't happen. Even if you go to flag football, nobody's going to want to watch that. It's going to deteriorate everyone away from it, and it's ultimately going to dismantle the game that people have grown to love over the course of time. So football is never going to be a safe sport. First and foremost, it's never going to be a safe sport. But the thing that can make a huge difference here in terms of making this a little more safer for the players is the value that these guys get. I think it's the value, not value in terms of, pay this man, pay him all the money he needs. No, to hell with all of that. I'm talking about the value of a human being. Like, I truthfully do not believe the NFL values their players like other leagues do. And even as fans of the games and spectators do not value NFL guys and athletes in general as regular human beings. Like, you have to understand, these people are still human beings. They have fathers, they have kids, they got daughters, they got brothers, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, daughters. They have all of these things. It's the same as you. So when I see a guy go down like this, similar to what Hamlin did, like, obviously I knew it was tragic. I'm like, it's terrible. You never want to see those type of things. But truthfully, I started to think about the families. Like, if this happened to my brother, like, my brother played sports at one point in time, like that would be tragic. I would be torn. So to hell with, the NFL did the right thing. They canceled the game. They didn't let it continue. To hell with all of that. To hell with who said what. To hell with this guy was insensitive about the situation. This guy said they should have kept playing. This game needs to be safe. To hell with all of that. The only thing that's going to be able to make any type of change in terms of making the game more safe is the value that's placed on athletes as human beings. Because you don't have to deal with people asking you thousands of questions of how are you feeling about next week's game when you're still going through something that may have happened to someone you were really close to. Like for example, like Hamlin, he has all those other teammates on his roster, and there's many guys who are very close to him on that roster, so they have to cope with that. You expect them to go continue to play the game, or even just, oh, okay, well, this game is canceled next week. like that's not cool, right? That's not cool at all. That's a traumatic experience, not only for Hamlin, but for everyone else who was on that field. And honestly, a traumatic experience for those spectators as well, if they caught that right at the moment. Watching the replay, it showed how traumatic that can be. I didn't even want to keep watching the replay after, because I'm like the guy made, it sounds terrible. And I want to say this as sensitive as possible, because truthfully, as soon as you see him fall, the thoughts you could not help but to think, like, the guy life may be over. His life may be done. Like, he may have ended it playing on the football field. And that's never the intention of any athlete. No athlete, yeah, they may say, oh man, I died for this game. I want to give it all I got. But no athlete really wants to go out there and die playing the sport he loved. Like that's just not accurate at all. Yeah, it's a figurative of speech of saying, yeah, I will give everything I got to win this game. I'll leave it all out there. I'll die. Like, yeah, but truthfully, come on now. Nobody seriously wants any catastrophic event happening out there on the field. And I get to hell with the money. And I'm gonna wrap up because I mentioned we're gonna lighten it up again, because I definitely have more things I want to talk about. But long story short, man, the money, all of those things, the money, and how much you pay a guy, the kind of contract he has, how much fame he has, to hell with all of that, man. We got to start looking at people as genuine human beings in order to protect them, regardless of how violent the sport is, how delicate the sport is. Until we start viewing each other as human beings in terms of the media, in terms of spectators, in terms of other players, in terms of fans, stands, whatever you want to call it. These guys, the health of them and the seriousness of the things they put their bodies through on a nightly basis will never be understood in a serious perspective until we value them as genuine human beings. Because it's ridiculous. I know if this happened to, just think of someone, and last thing, just think of someone that you really, really love and care for, whether it's your brother, your uncle, your niece, whatever, your son, daughter, dad, father, anything, mother. Think of how much you care for that person. If God forbid, if they were ever in a traumatic accident or a tragic accident on a global stage where everyone's seen, you would not, and I would not know what emotion to possess if that happened to someone that I loved. I genuinely would not know what emotions to possess. And then to even try and cope with when you got multiple people asking, hey, how does this make you feel? Oh, well, what is the next step? What is next week gonna look like? What is this gonna look like? Like, who can focus on those type of things, right? That's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Look, we're gonna take a quick break because I know I gave you a lot to digest. We're gonna take a quick break. I got some random takes. We're gonna up the mood just a little bit. I kind of don't even want to touch on NFL, and I'm gonna be honest too. I know I was going with the weekly predictions, but this is what messed me up, because you're probably wondering what happened to the weekly predictions. It really threw me off when the NFL started having Saturday games, because what the hell? like where did these Saturday games in the NFL come from out of nowhere? I was focused on college football. I was trying to watch college football, and then all of a sudden I see the Vikings and these other teams playing on Saturday. Like that really threw me off. So that, if you're wondering, damn, Manny, what happened to the predictions of week by week? That's really what happened. The NFL threw me Saturday games, and I said, oh, damn, I was not ready for that. So I'm going to leave NFL alone today. But again, we're gonna lighten the mood up again. We're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to jump back into it with some NBA topics. Now, just because you're busy doesn't mean you got to be stressed. I'm crazy busy right there with you. but it can be easier. Next time you're on a run, just make it more fun and listen to The Run with Manny Wilson. It's The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life. Don't let nobody else do it.
All right, let's do it, y'all. Welcome back to The Run. Let's get into it, man. We got some random quick takes here. Now, I know I missed a couple of things going on in the NBA and the sports world in general, but we got some random takes here that we have to touch on. First things first, man, the Los Angeles Lakers, when the hell are y'all going to give LeBron James some help? I mean, damn, the man is old now. He's an old guy now. When are we going to give him some help? It's only so much longer he's going to be able to continue to put you on his back, because the time where he's going to be able to put you on his back and take you to the finals, if you're on the Lakers roster right now, those days of LeBron is over with. He's not taking this team to the finals. All them finals runs of carrying guys and taking them to the finals, that shit is over. And I'm sorry, but it's not happening. So I'm just curious right now, when will the Lakers actually give them some help? To me, Anthony Davis, he definitely needs to come back. He has to come back strong, and he has to stay healthy consistently in order for the Lakers to have any sort of success. Right now, I'm really doubting the fact that they can even get into the playoffs, possibly going to lose a play-in game in this extremely tough Western Conference. So I would be very shocked if they make it to the playoffs with no AD, but their only hope of possibly going to the playoffs and having any sort of success, making it out of first round and getting a chance to go to the next, is if AD comes back and plays consistently, because the stretch that he had while he was healthy was amazing. It was amazing. It was immaculate, actually, and he showed and he proved himself that he is clearly one of the best power forwards or big men in the league, I should say, because he's damn near positionless at this point. So they need AD desperately. And if the Lakers want to win anything, they need Anthony Davis desperately. LeBron can only do so much, so they got to help that man out. He doesn't have the pieces there. I don't know if they still want to look into the trades. I personally would, because I'm not with all that losing stuff. If we're losing too much, man, some changes need to happen in order for us to figure something out. So that's the Lakers. Second thing here, and then we're going to move on. Since when did the regular season become it all? I know. Regular season is entertaining. And I'm still on the NBA. It's very entertaining. Don't get me wrong. You got guys putting up 70 points. Donovan Mitchell. You got Clay putting up 54. You got all of these people having absolute crazy type of games. And then the storylines are jumping off the roof. The Brooklyn Nets, they've been doing their thing. You got all of these different things happening in the league. But my thing is, don't get too sold on the regular season. The regular season doesn't really mean anything for a reason. You ever think about that? You wonder why they don't give a regular season trophy out. They don't give out I guess MVP is regular season, but they don't give out the best team in the regular season for the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. No, at the end of the day, what you do in the regular season does not matter if you don't win a championship. So I get it. The streaks, the losing streaks, the winning streaks are all very, very, very entertaining. I enjoy it myself. But you got to take into consideration the other things that these human beings go through. You got guys that have other situations outside of basketball that they have to attend to. You got the media presence. Oh, have you ever heard of fatigue? People want to rest. You got star players resting. Or maybe a coach wants to try a different lineup. What about that? Did a coach want to try a different lineup? So yes, this team may have got spanked, but did you really pay attention to the starting lineup that they had? No, you didn't. I see this way too often with the Golden State Warriors. Many people talk about, okay, well, the Warriors, oh yeah, they're a championship team. Then a week later, no, man, this team, they just got to figure it out. Well, during that game where you said they got to figure it out, I don't know if you figured it out, but they were missing Steph Curry. They were missing Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. The only person they had out there with any type of experience was Jordan Poole. So that's my thing. I'm just letting you know, regular season isn't everything. Keep that in mind. And then now, wrapping it up with some news. I kind of touched on it just for a second, but the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, he put up 71 points and a comeback win against the Chicago Bulls. Klay Thompson also had a big night the other night against the Atlanta Hawks, recording a season high of 54 points in a win, 143-141. That game also went to overtime. And LeBron James, he put up 43 points in the latest win over the Charlotte Hornets. So that's all I have, man. Look, we're back at it. I'm happy you're here. Feel free to give us a call at any time. Let me go ahead and pull up that number. I think I might know it by heart, actually. 219. No, we don't know it by heart. But look, in the meantime, share this with a brother, a cousin, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, anybody you know who may enjoy any of the takes that we talked about. If I talked about their favorite player at all, feel free to send this to them. I promise you they will not mind. They will not be upset that you sent them this podcast and told them, hey, you should check this out. I think you really might enjoy it. I'm sure they'll enjoy. Also, too, if you listen on a daily basis or if you were waiting for me to drop another episode during this holiday break, go ahead, leave a voicemail, man. Let me know what you've been doing over holiday break. Let me know how long you've been listening, or even share your thoughts on everything that's been happening in the sports world. Give me a call and leave a voicemail, 219-413-9405. 219-413-9405. I appreciate you guys, however you're listening, therunusa.com, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iPodcast, YouTube. I appreciate it. Until next time, we will be back later on next week with a special guest, and so on and so on and so on.